Today on the Deep Dive, we're digging into something pretty historic, actually. India making a really significant stride in human spaceflight.
Yeah, it's a huge story.
It really is. We're talking decades in the making, over 40 years
Hmm.
before sending their own astronauts up again. So let's unpack this incredible leap into the cosmos. What's the core mission here?
Right. So what we're looking at is the Gaganyaan mission. Essentially, it's India's really bold step into human spaceflight.
Okay, Gaganyaan.
Exactly. And its main goal, its core purpose, is basically to test India's own capability, end to end, sending humans to low Earth orbit.
Low Earth orbit, so a few hundred kilometers up.
Precisely. And not just sending them, but sustaining them up there and crucially bringing them back safely.
Okay, so the full cycle.
The full cycle. And what's fascinating here is the methodical approach they've taken.
Yeah.
Very step by step.
How so?
Well, ISRO, that's India's Space Research Organization, they've been meticulously training the astronauts. There was some initial help from Russia, but it's very much an Indian effort now.
Interesting. What kind of training?
It's a really interesting mix. You've got the expected physical rigor, of course, but also specific yogic breathing exercises.
Yoga. For space?
Yeah, apparently to help prepare them for the isolation and confinement. And then there's the tech side. They've developed cutting-edge life support modules.
Right, the life support must be critical.
Absolutely. It features a closed-loop system. The idea is to recycle a high percentage of water and air, pushing the boundaries there.
Wow, that's advanced. Recycling water and air.
And the crew capsule itself, it's called Vimnaut. It's built to orbit Earth for up to about 3 days.
3 days in orbit.
Yeah. And it includes an advanced ablative heat shield that's vital for surviving the heat of re-entry. So you see, it's a really comprehensive, very deliberate effort.
That methodical approach, yeah, it sounds incredibly thorough. Especially those details like the yoga and the closed-loop life support. It feels like more than just, ticking a box.
Yeah.
So when we look at that level of precision and, well, the long journey to get here, what does this all mean when we look at the bigger picture? India's place in the global space scene. Why is this deep dive so crucial now?
Well, moving from just aspiring to human spaceflight to actively doing it is a huge statement.
Yeah, it really is.
And if we connect this to the broader landscape, it becomes clear Gaganyaan isn't just a one-off mission, it's absolutely foundational.
Foundational for what comes next.
Precisely. It's laying the groundwork for India's, frankly, formidable long-term space ambitions. And think about this. They've achieved this progress on a remarkably cost-effective budget.
Ah, right. The cost factor is often mentioned with ISRO. Efficiency.
Incredible efficiency. It kind of sets a new benchmark. So this mission, it's pivotal. It paves the way for, future dreams like establishing a permanent Indian space station, maybe by 2035.
A space station. Wow.
And then crewed lunar landings, and even looking further out, potential missions to Mars by 2040.
Okay, so this is step one of a much bigger plan. Mars, even.
Exactly. It's not just about reaching space. It's about establishing India as a self-reliant major player in, humanity's multi-planetary future.
That long-term vision, stretching out to the moon and Mars, it really puts this first human flight into perspective, doesn't it? Such strategic foresight. And what an inspiring journey from what you might call humble beginnings in space exploration, relatively speaking, to now achieving independent human spaceflight.
It's quite the trajectory.
It really is. India's progress, it sends a powerful message, I think, for all of us watching. This journey, from goals on paper to actual hardware and people in orbit, it underlines that, maybe nothing is impossible when you dream big and just steadfastly build towards it.
Yeah, that persistence.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How all those small methodical steps add up to something truly grand. Makes you wonder what incredible goals you might set your sights on next.